Hello again, everyone. Edwin Lerner back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Jupiter in conjunct Uranus in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects of the natal chart. They were a little bit concise. Some people may have referred to them as snappy, so what I decided to do is make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is, well, Jupiter in conjunct Uranus in the natal chart can manifest in an adjustment, which is the inconjunct that may be needed between doing things that bring you happiness, which is Jupiter, and matters pertaining to your goals and aspirations, which is Uranus. So one or the other may be overemphasized. Now, let's say, for example, if Uranus is an Aquarius, the goals and aspirations may be tied in with altruistic, humanitarian endeavors, maybe something associated with astrology, astronomy, computers, electronics, meteorology, innovation, or aviation as some examples. And the thing too is, and the thing to remember is that the key is to find the balance and equilibrium with these energies. And it could be where you're dominated by one or the other. And also, too, another way Jupiter in conjunct Uranus may manifest in a natal chart is that there may be an imbalance between activities with in-laws and foreigners, which is Jupiter, and your friendships, which is Uranus. You may be dominated by activities with one or the other. You may be in-laws and foreigners may monopolize your time to the expense of your friendships, or it could be the other way around, where the friendships that you're involved in may dominate your time and energy to the expense of the activities with in-laws and foreigners. So again, it's about finding that harmony, the balance, the equilibrium between these energies, because when you have inconjuncts in a natal chart, there can be a lot of vacillation and distortion of energy. And the thing is, now let's say, for example, if Uranus is in a Pisces in your natal chart, friendships, friends, one or more, may actually be a Pisces sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be those that are very idealistic, altruistic, compassionate, forgiving, empathetic, intuitive, sacrificing, but at the same time, it could be those that are very passive, maybe deceptive, or gullible and impressionable as well. Now, another thing, too, about Jupiter in conjunct Uranus in a natal chart, it may also be expressed in, having too much or too little enthusiasm and exuberance, which is Jupiter, in matters pertaining to your objectives, which is Uranus. Now, if Uranus is in Capricorn, as an example, those objectives may be tied in. It could be something business-related. It may simply be gaining more structure and discipline in one's life. It could be doing something Capricorn-related, whether it's work connected with the government, politics, accounting, dentistry, masonry, general mundane work, information technology, architecture, construction, as some examples. And also, too, because there may be times when you're just really, super enthusiastic about attaining objectives, and other times you may be more impassive regarding it. There may be hardly any emotion or exuberance shown in doing so. Now, also, too, you may find it very easy or extremely difficult at times to form friendships, which is Uranus, with foreigners, which is Jupiter. You may go through extensive periods where it becomes incredibly easy to form friendships, with people that aren't from, your own country. And then there may be times where it just seems like it's an arduous task in doing so, or for whatever other reasons, you just may go through very, extensive or prolonged time without being able to form the friendships with those people. Now, let's say if Jupiter, is in Aries as an example, the foreigners that you may connect with as friends, one or more may actually be in Aries, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or embody the traits of the sign. It could be, people that are aggressive, assertive, combative, forceful, courageous. It may be those that may be abrupt, very spontaneous, but maybe impulsive and impetuous as well. And there may be an exorbitant amount of success and prosperity, which is Jupiter, in Uranus-related fields, which can include astrology, astronomy, computers, electronics, or innovation, which is Uranus. Then there may be times when, there is none, whatsoever. So, again, when you have inconjuncts in astrology, it's a lot of, the vacillation and distortion of energy. So, the thing is, if Uranus is in Sagittarius, as an example, the energy that may be expressed with those Uranus-related fields, whether it's astrology, astronomy, computers, electronics, innovation, may be done with more optimism, exuberance, expansiveness, and enthusiasm. And also, too, another way Jupiter inconjunct Uranus can be expressed in a natal chart is that people that are prominent, in groups, clubs, and organizations, which is Uranus, may either be really in strong agreement, with your philosophies and beliefs, which is Jupiter, or there may be times when they're just completely averse and adversarial, toward them. Now, let's say if Jupiter is in Aquarius, as an example, philosophies and beliefs may be eclectic or unusual, unorthodox. It may be tied in with astrology or being innovative, always, being geared or really interested, with new technology, moving with the times, so to speak. If Jupiter is in Sagittarius, it could simply be having, an upbeat, positive, expansive, optimistic outlook, as some examples. Also, too, Jupiter inconjunct Uranus in the natal chart may also manifest in where it may be very easy or extremely difficult in terms of finding that freedom and independence, which is Uranus, to do Jupiter-related things, which can include sports and higher education. Now, because there can be, times where you feel you have, so much freedom where, nobody's, stopping you from doing anything. You may go through extensive time periods where you could do these Jupiter-related things, whether, it's sports, higher education, the outdoors, publishing, camping, without, any diversions or distractions or, obligations to anyone else. Then there may be extensive periods where it's just the opposite, where you can't even, barely move to go to do any of those things that the aforementioned things I stated associated with Jupiter. So, again, it's a lot of vacillation and distortion of energy. The thing is, let's say if you have Jupiter in Gemini as an example, there may be an interest in Gemini-related sports, like the quick reaction sports, which can include table tennis, badminton, or racquetball as some examples. Jupiter, say in Capricorn, may have some interest in rock or mountain climbing as some examples. And also, too, another way Jupiter inconjunct Uranus may be expressed in a natal chart is that you may either express, a tremendous amount of benevolence and goodwill, which is Jupiter at times, in group-related matters, which is Uranus, or none whatsoever. Now, let's say, if Uranus, is in Pisces as an example, those group-related matters may be tied in with helping those that are less fortunate than yourself, including the homeless, the oppressed, the impoverished, and hungry as some examples. And Uranus and Aquarius may be more geared toward, or you may be, a group that's connected. Could be with humanitarianism, altruism, astrology, computers, innovation, as some examples. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Arnold saying stay well.